Hello there, it's D Square here. Wanted to review this game now that I've beaten it. I, I think any comic book fan, this would definitely be on their radar. It is for the Nintendo Switch, so I actually did have to buy a Switch, but I did so because I know that there's good games and good games forthcoming for the system as well. So, but nonetheless, that is important to mention, I guess. It's come out a little bit over a month ago, and I was really excited. So let's just kind of go through here. I'm going to kind of start another game here. I've already beaten it, of course. I'm going to continue because I actually just beat it, and I'm going to move on to the superior difficulty. So that's going to bring me to my first point here that's really cool about this game is it has a lot of replayability. It's essentially a beat 'em up game with RPG elements, but it is really cool because you can play it co-op both over the internet and local. So, that already seems fun. And that's why really all the Ultimate Alliance games are all really quality games. There was an X-Men branded version of it as well. So it's just a really, really great recipe already. And we see here that the graphics are good. They look colorful, very comic book like. Now, again, the game is exclusive to the Switch, so the Switch isn't the most powerful system. So this isn't going to be, cutting edge graphics, photorealism. But it really doesn't need to be as a comic book game. It looks great. So not top notches in graphics, but it does look good. The gameplay, as I mentioned, is somewhat of a beat 'em up formula. But there is more to it than that. You use various, you have a whole team, right? You have 4 team members. I know I roll with pretty much all X-Men here, as you'll see. The story itself has like characters that it uses, and so when you first start out the game, I mean, that's what you're pretty much limited. And in fact, this stage that we're loading here right now is the very first, and yeah, here's my X-Men team. But really, when you start off, it's going to be, Rocket Raccoon, Star-Lord, there we go. Rocket and Groot are kind of one character, and of course Gamora, which looks drastically different tracks. So, but once the replayability of it coming back, you can obviously do different teams. In fact, let's go ahead and look at all the various people that you can pick. So, you go to these like shield save points, and you can, of course, change your team. So that's everyone that I have unlocked so far. There's more to unlock. Colossus and Cyclops were not originally in the game. They were in a DLC. And as much as I hate DLC, I have to say it was at least free. And it just added some Infinity Rift challenges. And we'll talk about those in a little bit. So outside of the story, as a way to unlock costumes and characters and gain other rewards, there are these Infinity challenges, and we'll go over that. But yeah, so let's say I wanted to replace Nightcrawler with Psylocke. There you go. She's, of course, not, so you can tell I don't use her much, so that is somewhat of a word of caution. But there are bonuses that you get that you can actually give characters experience, so you can kind of catch them up real quick. As far as developing the characters, you see on the lower right there some like crystally looky things, some stats up there. So, those are more the RPG elements. So the ISO 8 crystals, right now I have 3 slots on all my characters. And you can just equip these for various, impacts and stat boost. So, boom, that helps me not get interrupted as much. You can actually break some of those down and increase the crystal power. So you see like the +2, +3. That's what's happened there. So, all right, so let's get you into some combat though here. So again, rolling with my X-Men team. The story is okay. It does what it needs to, which is give you a reason to have a team of superheroes and beat up a lot of enemies. You know, it's just a very vanilla Infinity, you know, Gauntlet Thanos story with a little bit of a twist, which is kind of cool. So, you know, it's not Shakespeare by any means or Metal Gear Solid, but it does, you know, add good context, give you a reason to be in this situation and play this fun game.
Everyone, take cover! What are our options here, Rocket? Looks like there's only one way out.
So as you can see, there's a little bit of platforming elements here where, you know, I have to avoid certain spots on the floor. I can't destroy those enemies. So not completely beat them up. You do have, you know, sections of the game like this where all you can really do is run, and you just need to, you know, dodge and not get hit by something. A lot of times they're coming from the back. And so yeah, that's the team you would normally start this game with if you know, didn't have anyone unlocked already.
Hold your fire. For now. You certainly weren't who we were expecting.
So that's pretty cool here. You see also that this game has really some comical elements, you know, when it announces enemy, things like that. I'll actually have another video on the channel where I show the X-Men stage, and, you know, Deadpool has a funny song. So, you know, this does have some comic book charm to it, you know, some comedy and whatnot. It's not all super serious. So, well, here's the combat. Each hero, when I press the R button here, you know, you have 4 special attacks, and you get armor up, and what's even better is not only do they have special attacks, but they have special attacks that they can do together. So they will do, I don't know if you see that, like, arc. I'm trying not to die as I'm showing you this, but right here. I really am going to die. Very Marvel vs. Capcom 2-esque. I mean, that's a move straight out of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where he like picks up an enemy and swings him around, charge, flop thing there. Right now, of course, he's stunned, and whenever an enemy's stunned, they take more damage. So here we go. We're gonna light her up here. We're all 4 of us.
For me.
The blood of every
Alright,
being in this universe will be on your
28,000
hands,
damage.
Guardians. So I will gladly have your blood on mine.
It's a little bit late on that. So yeah, overall, very, very fun game here. Not Shakespeare, it's not graphically superior, but it is a great superhero game, and you can play it co-op over the internet and locally, which is something that's not always appreciated by today's developers. So I'm glad that Nintendo, at least, is I don't know what they're doing there. Whenever you see that arcing, that's when you can press A and you will team up. And there you go. Nebula is gone. So there you go. Definitely a fun game. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Infinity Challenges. Alright, so these Infinity Challenges are definitely interesting. A lot of the times they are just you facing a boss from the story mode, but with some, you know, goals and time limits sometimes, and sometimes they are way more powerful. There's also some solo challenges, which are interesting, and as you can see, you can kind of unlock stuff here. So here's one, level 12. There's only 50 seconds on the clock. Extend your time by defeating enemies. The stronger the foe, the more time you get back for defeating them. So it wants me to do that for 5 minutes. So yeah, let me just have you take a look. So these are some solo ones. Infinity Rifts. You can actually find these in the story mode, like during the stage, and that's how you unlock a lot of them. So what's my final verdict? My final verdict is this game is great. If you're a comic book fan, Avengers, X-Men, you're gonna love it. And even if you don't like comic books, it's a really cool game that you can play cooperatively, that you can get complicated if you want, but you really don't have to. Although, you know, the ISO system is good, and, you know, there's also buffs that go through the whole team, certain grids and whatnot. So, I mean, there's really something here for everyone. Don't expect Skyrim or Open World Zelda, anything like that. This is all pretty much linear, other than some, you know, secret chest here or there. But, you know, you do get the cool leveling system and leveling up their powers and all that jazz, along with beating up some villains that you know, and a lot of them actually come onto your party after you've defeated them, which is great. And these Infinity Challenges, as you see, are very challenging. I'm trying to revive Colossus here. But either way, you should pick this game up if you have a Switch. If you don't have a Switch, I mean, you know, I definitely get it as you watch my team be annihilated here by the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Wolverine, the last lone survivor here. But you should pick this game up. It's ultra fun. The co-op stuff is fun. And yeah, so that's it. Not a perfect game, but again, gotta have it if you're a comic book fan and you own or want to own a Switch. Until next time, guys, peace and love, and we'll see you soon.